All right.
All right.
Good to go.
Thank you, sir. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. Good to see you all. Welcome to the January 2026 ACES committee meeting, our Arts, Culture, Education, and Schools committee meeting. We, as a board, have a hybrid policy that can be found on our website. Board members are expected to attend meetings in person unless they have a disability or an extraordinary circumstance. Excused members and members of the public will still be able to participate virtually. Any committee members joining via Zoom must keep their cameras on, and this meeting is being streamed live on our YouTube channel, and a transcript is being recorded. So this evening, on our agenda, we'll begin with an open session for any members of the public. And then we have a presentation by HudsonWay Immersion School. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And then Avenue School, and I see Morgan has joined virtually, and then we'll get an update from Avenues. And we have a long-standing relationship with Avenues, and they do come in almost annually to sort of give us an update on their work in the community. So thank you, Morgan, for joining us this evening. Unfortunately, the New York Public Library will not be joining us this month. It has just been very busy for them at the start of the year, but hopefully we can get them to come next month to give us an update on their after-school tutoring and ESL classes at both of our branches, Muhlenberg, and updates at Columbus as well. So with that, I am going to turn it over to HudsonWay, who is joining us here in person. So the floor is yours. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Jess, so the camera can pick you up.
Should we?
Yeah, so
our
I'm gonna,
presentation and
yeah.
sit here? So
yeah, that would be
we can
great.
see
So I would
Okay.
turn it over to you.
Okay.
And Jesse, you'll be our eyes online. Can you see the presentation?
No, you need to share your screen if.
Ah, right, okay.
And if the presentation was sent earlier and I missed it, I apologize, but I don't believe I saw it. So I can certainly share it on my end if it's sent to me.
Yep. I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I apologize that we didn't see that we should have, because I think we understood how many people would be on Zoom, but anyway, at any rate, thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to introduce ourselves. We'll do a slideshow version here.
Yeah,
Is it touchscreen?
Presentation mode.
Yeah, so if we do,
Let me move this thing out of the way. Sorry,
that's okay.
here, let me.
So I would just exit that, and then if we could do go to view, I think.
Yeah, slideshow.
Let's see,
Yeah.
and then,
Put a slideshow.
Oh, slideshow,
Yes.
there we go.
And then, yeah,
From
from the beginning.
there you go.
And
All right. Okay, great. So we'll flip through this, and I know that we have a time constraint, so Joey's gonna help keep me on track. So we're right here in the neighborhood. We're here on 52nd, and we actually go to 53rd between 10th and 11th. Right next to the.
I'm sorry to interrupt. From the viewer's perspective, we're still seeing it all very small. If you can X out on the right side of the screen, it says always use subtitles. I think you can X that out. You'll increase your screen size just because our point of view is still very small.
Trying to find the cursor for that here. It's not a touch screen.
Yeah, let's see.
Ah,
There it is.
there it is.
And
Okay,
then we want to,
get out of that.
no, that's not what we want. We want it.
Huh. I'm gonna get rid of that.
There we go. That's better. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Yep, good.
Okay, 1 second. We're just resuming slideshow, hopefully. Okay, I think you're up.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, much better. Thank you so much.
Okay, sure, okay. So, let's see here, so right in the neighborhood, oh gosh. Sorry about these technical things here, what's showing up on the screen is different from what I'm seeing here, but here, let me.
There we go. You moved, we see it now.
Oh, gosh.
You know, but it's different on the screen and on the laptop.
Yeah, okay,
Try hitting this from the beginning,
yeah, let's go. Okay.
Maybe
No.
something.
Hit that. Can you go back?
Yeah. Do this.
Stop sharing. Yeah, when you share, can you click, so we can get the audio to share sound, can you do that? Yeah. Like that.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, somebody.
Yeah.
Should we let Josie on the other?
I think we. Almost. Like.
Is that not moving at all?
It's frozen. It's not moving at all.
Jesse, we're having some problems here. Is there
Um,
a pulling
If
it
you
up on your
guys,
own?
if you guys want to email it to me, the folks from Hudson, if you guys want to email me that, if it's possible to email me the presentation, then I can present it on my end and.
Okay.
Okay,
So it's-
let's see here, I'm not in my email, but, it's a pretty big file with a,
The
Can we
other,
add-
yeah,
Can we
Yeah.
link back into the Gmail?
Yep,
Yeah.
can do that.
gonna take, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
just recognize you're gonna be, what your Gmail is gonna show up on the big screen, because it's, just so you're aware.
Oh, we can stop screen sharing?
yeah,
The fact is, I did stop screen sharing.
okay.
Oh, and it's still screen sharing? What are you seeing, Jesse?
Nothing.
Strange.
You don't see anything?
I see you guys. I mean, the screen sharing is still happening.
Okay,
Right,
okay.
Like, should I pull it out and
Yeah,
reset it?
yeah.
yeah, see what happens, yeah.
Yeah, I think if you went to, maybe if you tried it again and tried just view, that might give you, rather than the slideshow, maybe just the viewing, and then you would just have to click through it.
Okay, should we try that? So go back to here, Zoom.
Before you share it, I would just run it through on your laptop. Oh, well, okay, you're already doing it. That's fine.
Okay, so you can't.
I see
what do
it
you-
now.
You do see it now?
Do you
Yep.
see mission?
I
What
see
do you
mission.
see?
I see
Yeah.
mission.
Oh,
we
you
don't
see
see it.
mission, okay,
We're not
so we don't
seeing it,
care, oh,
but
you're
we
not
don't see
seeing
it.
it, oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's the problem. Fairness.
Do you wanna just turn that, can we just
Just
sort of?
burn this, yeah, so that I can talk with
Okay.
this, but then you can't see.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, thanks, if we can all sort of.
Yeah.
It was a small group tonight.
Okay,
And Jesse,
Do you want me to do the slide?
are we live streaming on, Jesse, are we live streaming on YouTube right now?
We are not live streaming on YouTube. We're simply recording, and I'll have to upload the file to YouTube after.
Hello.
Okay.
Hi.
hi, okay.
We're just getting started. with
Yeah.
this. Well, having-
Yeah.
I missed anything except for some technical glitches, okay? I apologize,
No, it's
Jesse.
It's not your phone.
Okay, all right, so, hi, I'm Sharon and this is Joey.
Hey, how you doing?
HudsonWay, and we're introducing our school. We were just getting started here, talking about where we're located. We're right here in your neighborhood, 52nd, and 53rd between 10th and 11th.
Okay.
And, okay, so a little bit of an overview. I'm the founder of the school. I started it about 20 years ago. I started it because I was looking for a school for my twin boys and, I couldn't find a Mandarin immersion school at the time living in New Jersey, but I had lived on the Upper West Side before. And so I decided to start it in my home and it's kind of been bootstrapped. It's been 20 years, so it's been a slow growth from preschool to elementary and now middle school here in New York and in New Jersey. And so these are just some fun facts. And I won't go through them all, but we have about 150 students in each school. So we have one in New York and one in New Jersey, and about 20,000 square feet. And we're very diverse, 70% students of color. All right. We're all about immersion. And when I really, the background is that I really wanted my kids to speak, read and write Chinese, because I regretted that I didn't, as a child and as an adult. But also I felt that Mandarin and Spanish were both extremely important as global languages, and the best way to do that is immersion. So I started doing the research about immersion, which is, you're probably aware, as much time all in the language as possible. You have to start young. So we started age 2. And we are the only and first and only full immersion. So what that means is when year 2, they get 100% of their time in Chinese or in Spanish. And then it increases the English over time, and eventually we get up to 50-50. But for most of that time in kindergarten and 2nd and 3rd grade, it's full immersion. And that's why our kids are so proficient. And you'll hear a little bit of what they can do. So these are the 3 divisions: preschool, elementary, and middle. And preschool is about a joyful beginning. And then elementary is where immersion, the academics really kick in, because you're learning math, science, social studies, all in Spanish or in Mandarin.
Are we able to put that on the screen?
No,
that's
the
technical difficulty
that we're having.
Well,
We're looking at this little screen. Oh, can you see with this owl in the way?
Hold on, it needs to be.
It needs-
Oh, it needs to be on, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, and then middle school is where we start developing the leadership and the voice and and identity. Okay. So this was the model that I was mentioning. I know it's too small to see, but H2 is 100%. That's the dark green. And then slowly, as they go up in grades, they get a little bit more English as they go. And so then it becomes more 50-50 by the time they're in 4th and 5th grade. And then it flips to the opposite, where it's more time in English because we're getting them ready in middle school for high school. Okay. And we have a curriculum. We use creative curriculum. That's a very common curriculum that a lot of schools use, but it's a very good curriculum for immersion because it's all around units of study, and you get to continually repeat the vocabulary. And so that's how kids acquire language. And we look at 38 objectives around things like social, emotional, and cognitive and physical, just like you would in any preschool. So it's just like if you were in Spain or in China in preschool, in a good preschool, and all of that is being done in another language. Our teachers are bilingual, so they're all native speakers of their language, but they understand English. So when the children are speaking in English, they can translate and repeat back what they're saying in English. Our elementary school, we pull together a lot of different curriculum to make our own curriculum. So we use for English language arts, parts of foundations, readers and writers workshops, some things that you hear if you go on school tours. We use Singapore math. We use a science curriculum called Open Syed. So it's all pulled together for what we think is best for our students. And then for middle school, we have a small middle school, but it's a unique opportunity for students to have a lot of exposure to unique opportunities. We took a number of kids to Albany. They got to present a bill, defend a bill, that we've done it twice. And they get great public speaking, leadership experience, and they get to compete with other schools. And anyway, those types of things we do because we're a small school. So they really get a lot of customized, I would say, education. And we have a little video. Let's see if we can play this video here.
The next test.
So I just found out why there's technical difficulties. Here we go.
Ah,
Oh,
so
great. Okay. Do you think we can? I think it might be.
I did open
you
it
know
in a
what?
browser.
Yeah.
I just realized it was in a different browser.
There you go.
There you go, good. Thank you. That was my son. A while ago, doing algebra in fifth grade.
So,
So,
guys, just so you know that unfortunately, I don't think the audio came through on the Zoom, but what I'm gonna do, don't worry about it. I didn't want to stop it because I know more people are in the room watching it. So that's more important than what's happening online. So, but when what I'll do is, because I have to upload the whole meeting anyway, you'll send me this thing and I can splice
Yes.
it in. So then it'll all live indefinitely on our YouTube channel and everybody can hear it. So.
oh, thank you, Jesse, and I apologize, yeah, we
No, it's
tried to
okay. It's okay.
the sound and, okay. Anyway, let me just share with you a little bit about standardized assessments, because sometimes parents ask, well, you would spend all this time in the target language, how's their English? And that can be one of the fears that parents have. So we do standardized assessments starting in grade 3, actually starting grade 2, and it's all in English. So we compare our students' reading with standardized independent schools and also the math. And our students do not only do as well, but they do better than independent schools because of all the research, what immersion does to the brain. And this chart is a chart of, grade 2, 3, 4, 5, and on up. What is the gap between our score and the independent school norm? So as you see, the gap goes up as you go in grades, meaning that our kids are doing much better than the average, than the norm as they go up in grades. So that's something we're really proud of. What we say to our parents is that not only do they get the language and they become bilingual and biliterate, but really the real benefit is the cognitive benefits and just how flexible their minds are and analytical to do so well on these assessments. Where can a Hudson Way education take you? Oh, we're gonna turn this in, let's see. You can see it now. That's right. Okay, oh, yeah, that's right, I forgot, thank you.
Gotcha.
Okay, so these are some of the schools, and these are some of the schools. We've had some kids that have left in different grades as our school has grown. More though are now staying, and we have some leaving in after eighth grade to go to specialized high schools for us. There's some Regis, we have a high school that is there now. Okay. So you can also join in elementary and in middle, and we have a special track. What we do is it's a best fit for a strong student. If you're looking for a little bit of challenge, you're not challenged in your public or private school. And we do an assessment, and then we develop a plan. And even if you don't have the language, we can support with some sort of tutoring. And we do give financial aid for a small school like ours, where we have 150 students. We give over 1.25 million, about over 20%. Receive aid, and in all of the divisions, including preschool. And the aid awards are typically less than 50% because we want to spread the benefit to more students. So yeah, that's why we have that. And it's for day school, not for summer camp. But that's because that's the most expensive program. The summer programs for this summer, we do it for 7 weeks, and this is a great way for kids that are not in our school or for kids in our school, but for the outside community to experience what immersion can be like. And so for age 2 to 10, for 7 weeks, we've got different themes for different weeks. So all of this is done 100% in Mandarin or in Spanish. And even if they don't have a background, if they're older in elementary, group them by level. So then they're with beginners if they don't have a background, and they're learning all of this in another language because our teachers are trained to make what they're teaching very comprehensible and with a lot of physical experiments and things like that. We also have after school, and we do them after 3:45 for an hour or so, twice a week, or we can do once a week. It's not going to get you obviously to the same level of fluency as our day school, but it's giving an introduction. And for some families that maybe speak it at home but want to learn the reading and writing, this is a program that could fit them. We do a lot of community programs. We've done Hispanic Heritage. We invite people for free from the outside, and we've had Capuli Mexican Dance Company come, or other vendors like that. And we also, for Chinese Language Day, we hosted the Consulate General of China, and we had this gentleman come and do a whole enactment of face changing, Peking opera. So it's a really cool for families. We have an indoor gym in our school, and we also just put in a new early childhood playroom. And collaboration opportunities. We're thinking about ways that we could be a place for cultural enrichment classes, like these ones that were open to the public. Also, we're doing a whole initiative, our 4th and 5th graders. In fact, Aaron's daughter is part of this, and having our students be ambassadors for community initiatives like around sustainability. We've had folks from the Department of Sanitation come and talk to our students, and then our students are then spokespeople for these types of initiatives. Collaboration with public and private schools to support educational objectives. So as I mentioned, Chinese Language Day, we invite other schools to present too, and so public and private. And just being a business partner in the neighborhood, ways that we're open to ideas for how we can support the community, and we're looking for ways to grow our enrollment and to have people get to know about us. That's it.
Great, thank you so much for the presentation. So we typically take questions from committee members.
Yeah.
But I just want to start off by just thanking you again for coming in, because I think it's great just to increase awareness about who you all are and the curriculum that you provide. And also want to thank Erin for making the connection and inviting me to come in this evening. So with that, I'll bring it up to the question from this committee.
I just have a question. If you could talk a little bit more about the cognitive benefits, because you mentioned that, I think that's really important, another important aspect of this.
Yeah, yeah, so language learning, especially when kids are young, there are all these synaptic connections that are happening. And it is helping children learn about how language works. So that's why it has so much benefit for reading, not only in English, but in other languages. And then it's helping with problem solving, analytical thinking, because kids are having to, at a very young age, figure out this whole puzzle of what is someone saying and how do I respond to it? So it's exercising their brain in different ways. So we see that in terms, and there's been a lot of research about that, helping with analytical thinking, problem solving, also empathy and giving perspective, because when you learn kind of see how get a different perspective of thinking about things. And in our case, because the teachers are all native speakers of another language, it's just an appreciation for different backgrounds. And these are all very important for global citizenship, which is, I started off talking about the mission, because the world is changing, and in New York City, you see that more than any place. It's so diverse, that you really want students that are flexible and can interact with different people and have the communication skills and the confidence too. Because part of this is, if you're confident that you can do something your parents can't, and a lot of our kids can speak in 2 languages their parents can't, that develops their own self-identity.
Amazing. I have a couple of questions.
Sure, we can go right around, sorry. So could you talk a little bit more about the enrollment selection process and just generally how many students interview or families interview, and how many of those families enroll in any given school year?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, and Erin's been part of this. She's part of our parent ambassador committee. We do several open houses. We have, every year, probably 50 to 80 families that apply. Of those, we accept probably a good number of them, because we have the capacity, but they have to have the right fit. The students got to, we bring the student in for an interview, they spend time in the classroom. They've got to be a student that we think we could serve typically, and we want parents that are committed to immersion for the long haul, because this is something, if you take a space, it's not so easy to if you leave, it's not so easy to replace that student because of the whole way the language works. So, we probably accept about 60%, and then of those, maybe half decide to come, because there's so many choices in the city, and there's a lot of financial considerations. Although we do give financial aid, it may not be everything that they need. So there are a lot of factors in that. So we probably, in the end of that, enroll, anywhere from 30 to 40 of those students every year.
And just a real quick follow-up to that
Uh-huh.
question for any members of the public that may be listening. How much additional capacity families do you think you might have at the school?
Yeah, we have about 150. We want to grow to about 225.
Okay.
So we've got some capacity, and it's like a pyramid for us. The bigger classes are the younger classes in preschool, and then as you go up, there are fewer. But I will say that our 3rd grade class has about 50, on the Mandarin side has about 16 students, and we're looking to retain as many of those so that we have good sized classes up through middle school. Our Spanish program is smaller, but it is growing faster than the Mandarin program because we're putting a lot of effort into it. So we'd love for them to be about equal in size over time.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Great.
I have several questions.
Okay, good.
Short and sweet, I think is good. And you said the students went to Albany and they were supporting a bill. I was curious what bill.
Yeah, no, they wrote their own bill.
Which was.
So they wrote it,
essentially.
essentially, they were writing they came up with a bill. That where, they were saying that corporations that were going to, replace some jobs with AI would have to set aside funds to retrain those people for different jobs.
Wow.
And yeah, so they did a lot of research around that
That's great,
and their bill passed.
Yes.
It did pass,
Good.
for what that's worth. Yeah, so,
I would want to look it up. You don't know the number offhand.
oh, no,
I mean, they're,
That's amazing.
It was-
Okay.
yeah, it was cool. Then,
I don't know what year you began.
what year we began?
Yeah.
We began here, in New York, we were first on Riverside, in what was the Trump buildings,
what
the
year was that?
residence. That was in 2010. Yeah.
And.
And then we moved to this location in 2019.
Okay. And this is considered an independent school?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And you said that you gave some information about the number of students that receive aid, how much, less than 3%. I was curious about the tuition amount.
Yeah, it varies from the half-day programs, half-day preschool, around 33,000 to the middle school, about 55,000.
And you go up to, I guess, I'm assuming like,
8th grade,
oh, 8.
yeah.
Oh. Get confused what's considered.
What's middle school? Yeah,
I know.
yeah. 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 being
Okay.
that.
And, so this one can't, right, okay. Oh, students, and about how many students per class do you normally have?
Yeah, so it varies, anywhere between 10 and 16. Some are smaller, actually, maybe some of the smallest might be 7, around there.
And do you accept people my age?
Yeah.
I wish.
About that.
What preschool naps?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this sounds amazing. Actually, I had met one of your students.
Oh, oh, yeah.
MCB4 leads a coat drive. And Aaron's daughter was, supporting us, and I needed Spanish speaking people, and she was there, so it was great, and she told me about the school. I was like, where is this school? It sounds amazing.
Well, you're welcome, any of you are welcome to come and give you a tour.
Yeah, I would love a tour,
Yeah.
actually.
Please, yeah.
If committee, if we could schedule a tour.
Yeah, sure.
And we would love
Happy
to
to.
share with the committee on February 28th, we're hosting a vendor fair. I think the beauty side, what Sharon does and the school community like Aaron, we open the door to the public. And I think this is what we want the committee and the community to know, that our door's open.
I'm
So
sure-
come enjoy our enrichment programs.
I'm sure we could collaborate. with
We can
something.
totally
I work
collaborate.
for Ryan Health, and I actually just started working around the corner at Park West High School.
Oh.
The
Yeah.
school-based, clinic there, so.
That's amazing. Yeah, February 28th, you'll see
Yeah.
all the enrichment, all the vendors
Yeah.
that you could sign up and join. We even get other ones that don't even work with us, future partnerships, and they're coming, meeting our families and everything. It'll be a full day fun event. So definitely February 20th, you can put in your calendar, come through.
Yeah, what's the time?
It is going to be, last time we had it we did it like 12, but we said open all the way to like 3. We also, that day we host like open house, there's a lot of things going on, but this time we're doing like a 12 to 3. Yeah.
If you have any like outreach materials that you could send to
Yeah.
Jesse, that would be great. And then-
Perfect, yeah, we can
Yeah,
email, yeah.
something like that.
Okay.
Are there other question? I have just one quick, just in terms of like community engagement and the
Mm.
scholarships and just doing outreach to folks who
Yeah.
may be a good fit, but just don't have the financial means to attend. How does that look like? I mean, one of the things that we always really want to ensure that happens, especially to a lot of our public housing residents, you're not far from Harborview Terrace on
Mhm.
55th Street.
Mm.
So I'm just wondering, do you all work with any of the NYCHA residents there? Have you done any outreach to that particular
No,
community?
no,
Okay.
we
No.
open to it.
Yeah.
We open to it. And I do want to say, you know, I did talk about the financial aid being about 50%. That's an average. We will give more, and especially when we're trying to really grow the upper grades for middle school.
Okay.
Even up to 80%, because we would like to fill, it's like an airplane, we'd like to fill those seats and we'd like to fill them. Ideally, even with kids that have some Spanish language background,
Right,
for example.
yeah.
So, and I was trying to, we had Eric Botcher come through, we had someone from, who's it, Matt,
Matt Ty from,
was another, I can't recall, but anyway, Brad William Siegel's assistant.
Oh, yes.
Jonah.
Yes,
Jonah.
yes. Jonah came by. And we were talking about some of the just, you know, the students that are here that have emigrated here, that are Spanish speaking, that maybe are that are really bright or in overcrowded public schools. We'd love to have, you know, some of those, and some of the students, actually, there are a bunch of dual language schools that only go up to 5th grade and they fall off a cliff. And we've been trying, Joey's been out there with
Yeah.
one of our teachers, going to a lot of these public schools to try to see if any of them would be interested in continuing their immersion with us. We're gonna keep trying. We haven't successfully connected with any of those students, but we want to host a preview day and invite them to spend a whole day in our school, seeing what that's like.
Yeah. We're trying, you know.
Do you ever do 100% financial aid for remarkable students that may be in temporary housing or challenging housing environments?
We haven't yet. It's something, you know, we could consider. Yeah.
We're also partnering up with a few collaborations, organizations like Seeds, looking for seed scholars. We just had a great meeting with Better Chance. So definitely stay tuned for the 100% for sure. I think we're definitely open to it, and we're like searching and seeking that how we can work with organizations like that. Yeah.
We have a meeting tomorrow with the Mexican consulate. We've invited them to just talk about how they can partner with us. So definitely, we're trying to do a lot of outreach. That's one of the reasons Joey's here. He's really been, he's an outreach consultant. He did it for a couple different independent schools.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, and have a good admissions background. So I know behind the desk on enrollment. So, yeah.
This is amazing. Such a
No, thank
tool.
you. Great questions.
I think something else to think about, this is in my parent hat, not my board hat, but is, you know, ways that the students could benefit in the community too with their language skills, or like going out into community organizations, or, you know, the coach drive was great, you know, things
Yeah.
like that, that
Oh, yeah, that's.
where their
yeah,
language
for next
skills
year.
can be of benefit to the community, and that helps them to see why it's important to learn it.
Yeah, that's
So
a
if
great
you have
point.
Thoughts
Mhm.
on ways that, it's hard with kids, you know, you can't put a kid into every situation, but where they might exist, we could keep that on our radar perhaps.
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate the presentation.
Thank you for inviting us.
All right.
Thank you, Erin.
Sure, yeah.
A little bit. Okay, so moving right along, we'll switch it over. Hey, Morgan, nice to see you.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you. So Morgan is joining us from the Avenue School. Thank you again for joining us virtually.
No problem.
And thank you for providing the sort of high-level snapshot of the work that you all have been doing this academic year so far, and sort of the look ahead into 2026. And so,
Yep.
But if you would like to sort of share updates, I think, you know, in the past, we've always been very interested also in scholarships, your work within the community, but, you know, the floor is yours to share with us updates from the school, what you all have been up to. So thank you again, Morgan. The floor is
Great.
yours.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you for welcoming me back. It's always great to present to the ACES committee. Also great to see our peer school, HudsonWay, as well, too, for their great presentation. And it's just good to see everybody here. Matt, Josephine, thank you so much as well for having us. Congrats to Josephine on becoming vice chair of the board as well. So I got to give a shout out on that too.
Morgan,
Yeah.
you're up to date on your board updates. Well done. Wow.
So yeah, and I want to thank you all for again just this board in general for codenaming the street after Richie Henderson last year. It's on 26th Street and 10th Avenue as well too, and so you know, and also for accommodations about our work during COVID-19 and so on. And so I think all these years it's been great to see all of this great connection with the board. So for those who don't know me, my name is Morgan Jones. I am the Director of Community Engagement at Avenues, and I've been the Director of Community Engagement with Avenues for about 7 years now. And I work on a number of different areas: volunteerism, leadership, working on quality of life related issues and connecting that to our students, faculty and staff, as well as our families. I also work now at, my job has changed in some other ways too. I work with our student council as well, which is like our student government. So they write speeches and they do presentations and work on quality of life issues within our school. And I also work with our alums now too, which we have about 775 that have graduated from our school since 2016. So, but yeah, CB4 has been a part of everything that's been happening with Avenues since 2012 when we first opened. So I'll spend really about 5 minutes or so just going over our admissions and enrollment and financial aid related highlights specifically to Community Board 4. And then I'll get into some community engagement related work that we've done through the calendar year of 2025. And then I have a few asks to you all as well too, as I always have a little asks that I'd love to share and connect with you all on, and then obviously leave some room for questions. And I'm happy to answer anything you need. So for the 25-26 academic year, this year, Community Board 4 residents are about 25% of our student body. And so I think this shows a really big commitment to Chelsea, Clinton, Hell's Kitchen specifically. These are all residents that live in Community Board 4. We also offer financial aid as well too. And we do this for qualified students, regardless of their family income. And our goal and aim is to meet 100% of each family's financial need. Financial aid is in a form of a grant, not a loan, but it's a grant that we do. And there are approximately 63 Community Board 4 students who receive some level of financial aid, with 17 near or full scholarships. And that includes 5 students that have come out from the Elliott, Chelsea, and Fulton houses specifically. And our financial aid is, it includes essentials such as clothing as well too, because we also have our own dress code, transportation, any test preparation, study abroad programs as well. Even some parts of summer as well too. Financial aid through Avenues does cover that for students that are in need. We have alumni that have come from these groups. So alumni that have come out from the Elliott Chelsea houses, Fulton houses, anywhere around Community Board 4, and they're attending schools like Cornell or Brown or Tulane, Wellesley as well. So they're graduating from our school as well. And then for our more older alums who are from Community Board 4, and I call them, there's the recent alums that are currently in college and university, and then there's the experienced alums. These are alums who've already finished college and so on. Many of them come back to Community Board 4, and then they work in a variety of fields ranging from finance to law to technology to the arts to government, all really areas that definitely cross paths really well with Community Board 4. One story I have about one alum, she graduated from Avenues, went to Chicago for college, but before she was at Avenues, she started the country's first ever law review, and now coming out from college, she actually does the law review full time. And that is her job, is to help bring in law review programs to schools, not only citywide, and this includes public schools as well, but even to other states. about 7 or 8 other states, as well as in South Korea. She's done some work over there, which has been really interesting too. I can speak and I can answer even more about admissions and enrollment if you have any other questions beyond that. But moving on to community engagement, it's definitely a part of what we do. It's why I came in on board 7 years ago as well, specifically. And so we work really closely, again, with our students, faculty and staff, and families to work with groups like the Hudson Guild, working with NYCHA, St. Clement's Food Pantry, Holy Apostle Soup Kitchen, many others that we work with. And most recently, we've been connecting with Vanderbilt as well, too, which is only just south from our school, to work on some potential programs there, connecting with the Whitney, and of course the High Line, which is just right behind our school. And our parents get involved. We have our Avenues Parent Association, and they have their own community engagement committee, and they get involved in a wide array of projects. So every year we do a Thanksgiving drive, and we manage to donate about 4,000 cans of food to St. Clement's Food Pantry. We do a seasonal book drive that's just outside the Hudson Guild. We partner with some residents in the Elliott Chelsea houses there to give out free books in English, Chinese, and Spanish, and some candy as well, because usually if it's like Halloween time, we're getting out some candies, but nothing too not nutritious. And then we also do a winter coat drive. And actually that was through our Service Learning Club, which I'm the faculty member of. And so a group of high school students, they did a bake sale and they raised around $700, and all the coats went to Covenant House, which is also within Community Board 4, and that we have a good relationship with. There's a lot of student related curriculum work as far as community engagement. Our 4th grade has a community engagement unit that's going to happen this spring, and it happened last spring. And last year we actually had Councilmember Botcher come by and talk about quality of life issues with our 4th graders. We did an 8th grade service day, which that 8th grade did it in 7th grade too. And so we had 100 students in that grade just moving around different places throughout the city to work on food security related issues. So of course, they went over to Holy Apostle Soup Kitchen and St. Clement's Food Pantry to work on some food packing and distribution. And even some of our upper grade students to have their own clubs, like, again, our Service Learning Club, but even our math club, our robotics team, they partner with different organizations and regularly meet with the Hudson Guild to work on projects together, developing robotics teams together and things like that. Some key highlights: we donate about 4,000 books to the Project Cicero book drive, and we worked on the packing of that, which happens at the Star at Lehigh Center, which is just behind our school as well. And so we have a lot of our students not only donate, but actually volunteer to pack those books, and those books go to public schools as well. We work on a full community day. Again, that was also connected to the book giveaway that we do at the Elliott Chelsea houses, but we also planted flowers in front of the Fulton houses, and we've picked up trash from the streets in partnership with the sanitation department, clean up Chelsea Park with Partnership for Parks nearby. So that's another thing we've done. We've done some music performances both at Penn South with JASA, another organization that has many senior locations throughout the city, and we've done some music at the Hudson Guild. And then we've had the London Terrace Tennis Association come by our school to do some meetings as well. So we want to deepen a lot of our partnerships with Community Board 4. We're large enough of a school to be able to do that. And I get asked about that a lot, which is always sort of like, wow, okay, let's try and find opportunities and make connections. And that's why this board is so important to do so. But then I actually have a few asks that are here today. And so one is I have students and alumni that are always looking for volunteer opportunities. So even particularly in governments and nonprofit or social justice related work, public service related work. So if you have any leads, feel free to let me know, especially for our high school students and alums now as well too. Many of them are coming out from college and school. I have a group of 11th grade students that are interested in teaching science in public high schools. And they've done some work within our school to do so. And I'm already in the midst of connecting them with some folks at the Hudson Guild, but they'd love to teach high school and middle school students, so grades 7 to 11 in particular. These are juniors right now. And then just before this meeting, I had an ask from our 2nd grade lead. She wrote this to me and she said, "We are studying architecture and would like our students to create building proposals for the lot at 575 West 25th Street." And this is between 10th and 11th Avenues right there. And so They love to get aerial views about the site and talk about and learn. And these are second graders, which is interesting. What is the proposal process for that site in that area? What makes a good proposal? And maybe even share that proposal with you all here. I guess it's almost like a land use process or Euler process, more or less. But you know, it's something that our second grade is looking to do, and I'm going to meet with our second grade lead to talk more about that soon. So yeah, I just want to thank you all for your continued support and trust. I'm always reachable anytime. I'm out and about in the community. I'm happy to address any questions that you have. If there's any questions I'm unable to answer, you know, I'm always here to follow up as well too. I'm also easy to find online, and I just want to thank you all for your time tonight.
Thank you, Morgan. Really appreciate that great update and all the work that you're doing with these, from Hudson Guild to the London Terrace, Tenant Association, the High Line, the Whitney. You all have really integrated yourselves into the community, which is great to hear. Everything that Morgan more or less covered, just make sure there is a write-up on this in the Dropbox that Jesse circulated. So if you want to go back and dig into that, a lot of that information is there just as a follow-up. But again, thank you, Morgan. I think Jesse's looking for a few interns to shadow him around. Reach out to him. I'm sure he would love that. But we would certainly keep that in mind, and I'll open it to committee members to help brainstorm other ideas and partnership opportunities to help engage your students. And it's great your second graders are thinking about getting into land use issues. And I've worked at the city, and I don't even know how all of that works. So kudos to your students for digging into that. That sounds, it's wonderful to hear.
But have they written a bill?
Yeah, please keep us updated if they pass any bills at the city or state level. We would be interested in knowing about that.
Thank you.
Questions from the committee?
Well, I just want to make sure that, I'm sure Morgan knows this, but about our public membership. And so if you do have a senior who is very interested in local level politics and becoming involved in about all of these issues, Jesse, when are our public memberships open? When does that window open?
We usually, we accept applications all the way through the year, but we usually make appointments kind of right after the full board appointments and reappointments are done, because by then we'll know who's been reappointed and who are people who've been stepping down from the board, and we'll have new members come in. So that's a great idea, Josephine, because I think we haven't had it's great. It's funny because I don't think we've had a high school board member since Liam, who's now back on the board, way after high school, of course, and now works for the state. So that's an interesting idea, Josephine. I never even thought of that. And that's why I suggested to Morgan to bring it up tonight at the for the committee, because I knew I was not the smartest person in the room for all these things. So, but yeah, we could certainly do that, Morgan, if you have somebody in mind, obviously, if they're also not on their way out to go to an amazing university far across the country or something, that we'd love to have them. I mean, that would be a lovely thing to have.
Thank you.
And it's 16. Is that the age in which you could serve as a full-time member of the board? But I don't know if it's different for public members, but it's 16. You have to be 16 at least to join.
I don't actually think there are any. I don't know if the public membership is really done by board. So I don't know if we've ever thought of anything in terms of age limit. But I would have to go back and look at at the residuals. But yeah, I think we would want someone, that middle ground of someone who's can take on the responsibility of attending the meetings, on a regular basis and be able to understand what they're doing and voting and things like that, but also that they're going to be around, so it's not like their last semester at senior year, because they're obviously out the door. So junior or sophomore, I think would be great.
Great, thank you.
Other questions for Morgan?
Morgan, I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
I heard you mention the London Terrace Association goes there for meetings. Did you mean because space is provided for them, or meetings like for students
We provided the space for them to be able to have the meeting, and we actually do open up our space for various reasons in the community. So that was one of the reasons why we had why they actually requested our space, our black box theater that's there. So yeah, we do regularly have that. We had Hudson Guild actually in our space during the summer, and other groups as well, that have come by and use our spaces, be it's our classroom spaces, gym spaces, our small black box theater. We're able to open that up for certain
People
communities.
have to
and
leave at
community
9 p.m.
I'm sorry?
Do people have to leave at 9 p.m.?
Do people have to leave at 9 p.m.? That's a great question. Let me check on that because
Let me
it
know if
depends
I
on how
don't
long our security is around. So I can definitely get back to you on that.
Okay, and then my other
I will
question.
say we've done like plays
That's
and
a self-serving
performances that go
question,
on for
Morgan,
a
just so
while.
you understand.
Yeah, I know. I figured
Self-serving question.
that. So I would love to do something with the community board over where we're at, to be honest with you. So and I'm happy to talk about that with our operation. Our operations lead, Daniel Greenblatt, has been in a few community board meetings previously, so I'm sure he would be able to figure something out. So yes, let's talk more.
And I heard you mention that 5 students from Elliott Chelsea have attended. I didn't understand if they're current students or that includes current and alum.
Current. Those are
Okay.
just the current ones. Yeah, I'm only basing on current. The alums also would see. So I guess sort of with our school, you can think about it like this: like we fund students from their, acceptance into graduation, and so we'll have students that are alums and they came from Elliott Chelsea houses, and then they graduated, and then we have students who are currently there. So this is the 5 that I'm mentioning are the ones who are currently at Avenues.
Okay, and then the last thing is I looked over, I think there was an MOU in the Dropbox. And so I think it mentioned 30% of, correct me if I'm wrong, 30% of the student population would be from CB4. And I'm curious,
We're around 25. Yeah.
have you guys ever been able to hit 30%? And if not, I'm curious what the barrier has been.
I know that from our previous presentations, it's always been around 25%. When I last presented here as well, it's pretty much been kind of similar numbers throughout the last 5-6 years at least. And I know we do a lot of outreach, but it just so happens that that's the number that we have. Yeah, there's a lot of really great schools out there as well too, but it's not for lack of trying. It's just there's a lot that we work with, but yeah, it's always been around 25% generally.
And did you mention when students receive aid, how much of their tuition is the aid? Like, do you have any students that receive 100% of student aid? I don't know if you mentioned that. Maybe you
Yes,
did.
we
And I
do.
missed it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Yes, we definitely have a good number of students that receive it. I think I had mentioned earlier here that from those who are in community board 4, 17% receive full or near full aid.
Oh,
And then for those 5 that are in Elliott Chelsea, they would be receiving full aid. And I'd say, and I'll add some additional context here. We do somewhere around total around $20 million in aid total, with about 20% of our population receiving some form of aid, around an average of around 50,000 per student on aid. But it's generous, but it's limited. And we have to base it on everyone's need that's demonstrated to us. But yes, we absolutely have students that will be receiving full aid in our school completely.
Thank you so much, Morgan.
No problem. And good to see you as well.
Just on the topic of tuition, what is your tuition?
Oh,
Tuition is around 72,000 per year. Yep, tuition is around 72,000 per year. So again, we do offer financial aid for students that demonstrate that need, and it's actually around generally for independent schools in New York City, it hovers between 18 to 20% receive aid, generally speaking, and we do somewhere around 21%.
Thank you.
And just a bit of a follow-up question related to Maria's question. My understanding of the MOU is actually at 30% of the scholarship fund is what's earmarked towards CB4 residents. And some of the past reporting to CB4 has looked at what percentage of that scholarship fund has gone to CB4 residents. But in 2026, that's absent. So I think just as a follow-up request, it would be really helpful to see what percent of the scholarship fund went to CB4 residents this year or prior years for which that number is missing from the reports.
Okay, yeah, I can look into that, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions from committee members? Any attendees online? Don't see any. So great. Thank you again, Morgan,
Thank you.
for attending our committee meeting this evening. We look forward to staying in touch and seeing you back here soon. And if there are ways in which we can continue to partner and think about how we can connect your students to the community board's work, we'll definitely be in touch.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan.
So our fourth agenda item was the New York Public Libraries. They are hopefully coming to a future meeting. So just any new or old business that any committee members would like to bring up at this time?
The only thing I
yeah.
wanted to bring up was the last letter we wrote on students in temporary housing and how to coordinate all the agencies, bring everyone together to reduce the chronic absenteeism. And I'm wondering sort of the best way we could do that, or how would we want to handle that?
Did we get any responses from that letter?
No. So we'll have to do some active outreach, but Wendy talked about this and how there's no reason in this day and age where they can't do coordination in terms of, we talked about how families are often moved around in the shelter system. And if an apartment or a unit comes available close to their school, why doesn't that just come up automatically, and helping them get bus routes that are quicker? There just has to be a better way of organizing all of this. So how do we do that?
I mean, it would be great to get some type of response to that letter, and whether or not we think about like a follow-up, or if we could do some outreach to those agencies just to see sort of what kind of coordination is or isn't happening.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
We get HudsonWay students to write a bill. In temporary housing, DHS has to make it a priority. They need to create something in their system, the student and the school, and when there's an open bed that fits their family size.
Right.
I'm writing that, I got you.
I'm sure we'll pass. I'm sure it will be successful too.
Don't worry.
Well, now with the hotel closed, maybe we could cite our previous letter and do a post hoc analysis request on how many short-term housing students we still have in CB4, because I would imagine that number is now unfortunately drastically smaller than it was before the holidays. And that could possibly generate a response, at least initially, and help us kind of frame how we push the initiative.
The letter we're talking about, just so I'm clear, was the admin. I think it was the letter around the
was-
shelter closing on.
Yes,
the road,
right, right,
Okay,
right.
it was, right.
Right, and so what we heard was, because before we wrote that letter, we had a discussion around interagency coordination and how do we sort of make sure that no one's falling through the cracks as much as possible. So many times these agencies are working in silos, and you have, the Department of Social Services not talking to the, HPD, who handles a lot of the units, and they're like, what is happening, right? Like, how are these two agencies communicating with each other? Because what we heard is that there might not be openings, or there are openings and the families don't know about it. And so what does that communication look like? So
And this is
yeah.
this goes prior to any migrants.
yeah.
This has been happening for,
yeah,
decades.
yeah,
So that letter did go to the former mayor's office. So,
I think we update it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
update.
Yeah, I mean, given that there's a new administration with new commissioners, I think it would be worth getting this to the new
Yeah.
folks at City Hall.
That was my thought. It's
Yeah.
like, it's a new administration. It's a perfect excuse to bump the letter up.
Yeah.
And say, as you're entering in building your teams and building these processes, we would love to talk more and learn more about what your
Yeah,
plan
invite them
is
in. Yeah,
to optimize
Yeah.
these available beds and to minimize the disruption to students in temporary housing.
Mhm.
I mean,
Great.
yeah.
Would that be like an admin letter, Jesse? How would we do that?
I don't think it even requires an admin letter. I mean, if you guys can, more than happy to do an admin letter. I don't mean to, I don't mean to take the work out of your hands. I mean, I think we get the letter. I think the truth is, right, the letter was done at the end of the one administration and before the other one started. So I think we just have to re-up this, you know, just for a correction for, Maria's sake, it was a full board letter. Actually, we just it was what it was ratified at full board because we wanted to send it out before. We didn't want to wait till full board because of the date of the closure of the row.
Oh.
So we got it out at the beginning of December instead of waiting for full board. But I think we just, you know, resend the existing letter to the folks that are now running the show and ask someone to come and speak with us and talk about this issue. And I'm sure some of them are still around. Some of the folks maybe from who are in the agencies are probably still there, but there's probably a lot of new folks who are not aware of this particular issue. So I think that's what I think we should do. But if you guys want to write in kind of a cover letter for that letter, that's fine too. I mean, there's nothing, but.
Okay.
It's-
So Jesse, we'll connect with you. I do think we should probably, forward it with somewhat of an update,
Yeah.
like why we are sending an update because of the change, but let's connect together. Josephine and I will connect with you afterwards to
Yeah.
do that.
My thought also would be to bring it to Brad's attention because obviously Brad is in a new position as
Right.
board, and I think he would, he was CC'd on the first letter, and so I think that might be he'd be useful in helping get maybe some of the right or better folks in the room to talk.
Okay, great.
And I might have been seeing things earlier, but is Superintendent McGuire in the attendee room? Could we make a casual request?
No.
No, it's not good.
I thought I saw him earlier.
Okay, great. So we'll follow up with you, Jesse, on re-upping that letter, and hopefully we can get a response. Thanks, Josephine. And then just a reminder, the tour of the Manhattan Neighborhood Network Studios that Jesse has been raving about as like the best thing since sliced
I
bread.
swear to God, this is gonna happen. I swear.
So that has been rescheduled to February 9th at 4 p.m. So just make sure you've got that on your calendar. We're looking forward.
One other thing, one of the other things that you guys wanted was the FIT program. We need they asked us to send them some questions in advance for them to help prepare. So if we could have something written to me just in an email, just so I can forward it on to FIT so they can come next month, that'd be really helpful.
Yeah,
I'll work on
sounds
that.
good. Anything else that the committee would like to bring up?
Really
All right.
posting wild ideas for 2026.
Why not?
Just something that Morgan mentioned earlier about student councils. Because I think it'd be really cool as part of our CB4 ACES outreach. If we try and get a coalition of CB4 student councils to come present from their perspective as students, what our priorities should be for the district.
Interesting.
I was
Yeah.
thinking
Very
something,
good point.
I was trying to think through something
I like
similar, like, has the board ever done any kind of engagement with schools in kind of an education capacity about, civics and government and starting to plant those seeds of getting involved young? Like, that's a great, I didn't have a tangible specific, but thinking about how could we, especially in this committee, be a catalyst for some
Yeah.
kind of
right?
partnership with schools.
Like going into schools or having students
Yeah,
come here
exactly,
with exams and figuring out the best way to do it.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
the student
Yeah.
government
Yeah,
idea of
I
them
mean, they're-
pitching, I think,
yeah.
so much better idea
I
than
mean,
grown-ups.
given that- yeah, given that like public members can be, you know, doesn't seem to be much of an age requirement, but being but being members of 16, there's certainly like a recruitment, you know, thing that could happen as well in terms of getting folks to understand what the community board does and the work. And yeah, sort of planting the seeds about how they could get more civically engaged locally. I don't think we've ever done anything like as a community board within the schools, but I think it's a great idea about like identifying student count. I don't know how many schools have councils, right? But certainly at the high school level, there might be more of that. And I know we're always looking for ways to, you know, engage with our high schools.
And the
I mean,
students
so,
in particular,
yeah.
like hearing directly from the students.
My son
Absolutely.
attended high school, though I did mention it to his teacher. They had a student council and I said, I think they should really attend and listen in. I don't think they really ever did, but not that my son was on it, but I think it would have been a really good opportunity for the students to learn. So I think, but how do we do that? Either we're telling the superintendent or we're telling the principals. I mean,
Well, if
Is my-
yeah,
I
if
don't
do
know.
something, I could kind of like
What's
reach
your
out
idea?
to. I could, Jesse's been kind enough to provide a list of schools in the district for previous requests. I could start there and reach out to them and see, number one, if they have student councils. And number two, if they would support having their student councils present their ideas or leads to
Yeah.
CB4.
Yeah.
And if I get a response, I'd be delighted. And maybe we'll get a few, a few responses. It requires us to kind of coalesce what all of those ideas from the student councils might look like to something a little more bite-sized or not
I
3
can make
hours
sure
long.
the schools at Park West
Yeah.
respond.
How does that sound, Jesse?
I think that sounds fine. I mean, I think we're focusing on high schools, right? I'm assuming, right? Like, yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think that sounds great. And I think we should pick, Superintendent Kelly's brain as well. I mean, what he thinks
Yeah.
best way to find that out. There might be already a whole network, a way of doing that, and
Okay, so we can reach out to the superintendent and see what ideas he might have. Maybe there's already sort of like we don't have to go through the list of high schools if there's already something created that has that list of student government councils, but that's great. Okay, yeah, let's see what we can do and see if we can get some interest there. I think, yeah, it could be a lot of fun.
This may be a way to re-engage with the high school superintendent,
Yeah,
because we've been trying to do that as well, so. I'm not sure if it's the same
Oh, that's
person,
right.
but Kelly
Yeah.
can help with that
Yeah.
too.
yep,
All right.
great. Any other, that wasn't so wild. That was. Okay, great,
There's nothing else?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
right.
do you
Thanks,
guys have any
everyone.
questions? Do you guys have any questions about breaking down the stuff?
I think we've done it enough now.
Yeah,
This is- we've
I've done it. I've done it for
Yeah.
VLP a bunch. so.
Yeah.
We're good.
done it.
We got it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Jesse.
All right.
Can't wait till we move.